Hello, and welcome back to this collection of videos on Node.js. This video is going to continue to focus on the what of Node.js and really look at the software itself and how it's made up. In the last video, we talked about the V8 JavaScript engine, which is used in the Chrome browser. And so it's actually, the V8 engine is basically what the Chrome browser uses to process JavaScript on your browser. Now, what it essentially is a translator. Now, it takes JavaScript commands written by people like ourselves, if statements, loops, Ajax calls, this kind of thing, and it actually converts the JavaScript language into machine language. Now, machine language is basically what the processor speaks. So depending on what operating system, what processor is in your computer, the machine language will be different. So it could be x86, x64, ARM. There's different types of machine language. But the V8 engine will basically look at the processor, what you're using, and convert the JavaScript into the correct type of machine language. This is what the V8 engine does. Now, at a side note here, it's actually written in a language called C++, which is a much more lower level, powerful language than JavaScript, with a lot more flexibility. Again, a lot more what we call closer to the metal. Now, the Node.js has the V8 engine at its core. It's basically taken the V8 engine out of the browser and put it onto the server. And it makes up the core of what Node.js is this V8 engine. Now, what you maybe like to say is, well, the V8 engine on the browser, that's great, but it's not going to be able to do things like that we need to on a server, like making database requests or making file requests on the server, because it was built for the browser. And you're right. The great thing about the V8 engine is it's open source, and it can be embedded in other C++ applications. So basically, I can build my own C++ application which embeds the V8 engine, and I could do things, let's call them here C++ extensions here. And I'm embedding the V8 engine. So what that goes back to, when we were talking before about JavaScript being put into the engine and then machine language being converted out, if I'm actually extending this V8 engine with these C++ extensions, I'm actually increasing the type of JavaScript that can be inputted and translated through here. So you can almost say that if I'm creating this bigger application that embeds V8, there's going to be different types of new JavaScript that I can convert through this application. Well, that's exactly what, if you think about when Google hears that there's some changes to the ECMAScript standards, and they need to basically change the V8 engine and extend the V8 engine to recognize these new standards put out as part of the ECMAScript standard by W3C. Now, so they're essentially increasing the size of the JavaScript vocabulary by building out this V8 engine. And this is exactly what Node does. So Node is actually taking the V8 engine with its ability to translate regular ECMAScript standard JavaScript, but then building these C++ extensions, which allows it to understand new JavaScript. So you could almost say that it's, now, rather than just translating JavaScript, it can translate a new language called JavaScript Plus, let's call it, because it can understand a lot of new commands in JavaScript, not just to affect the browser like what the V8 engine does, but actually can do server requests. So this is exactly what Node.js is doing. It's fantastic because C++ is such a low-level, powerful language. We are now allowing JavaScript to do anything that C++ can do, and we can build this out now, and that is what Node.js is doing. The final layer of Node.js is actually a JavaScript layer. So outside of here, we now actually have, and you'll hear it referred to as core modules. Now, core modules are actually written in JavaScript, and they are allowing us, they are modules that allow us to write JavaScript to access these extensions we were talking about, that allow us to do things on the server like hit databases and hit the file system. So these are the three levels of Node, the software itself. Again, all revolving around extending the V8 engine and modifying it so we can then write JavaScript that can power servers and perform server logic rather than just browser logic, which is what JavaScript has been used for before. So in the next video, we'll really start looking at the why of the how of Node.js, how it actually uses the core functionality of V8 in the server environment. So I look forward to seeing you then.